Hey everyone, Sir Jellybean here, and we're back with another CallToArms Gates of Hell-Ostfront tutorial. This time we're talking anti-tank grenades, and specifically some of the more exotic ones and some of the more things that people may not have used. Now obviously we did a grenade video about this, so we'll just quickly go through what we're showing. So first we have the RPG M43AT grenade, as you can see there, two of them, an RPG M40AT grenade. Now we'll just quickly show you the kind of distance these are thrown. They only have around 20 meters of range, I believe. Yep, just shy of 20 meters. And if we switch that up to the one, so we have to switch it to the other grenade, he only has a range of about 19.6 meters. So that's him done there. So next we have the Molotov cocktail. As you can see, it's one of the most effective anti-tank grenades in the game, but only a 14.5 meter range. But it's got 14 point. Oh, has it got a little bit more there? It can throw a little bit more, maybe 15. It's saying 15.4. Because it's on the same level terrain, but still quite close ranged. That can pretty much take out any tank as well, and I'll be showing that off later. Next we have, it is the Haft-Halledung magnetic mine, and these were made by the Germans because they thought everyone else was going to start using them, and they weren't. Now this thing also has a similar, well, it says it has that range, but you'd be lucky to throw it that far. Normally you have to throw it a little bit closer and land it on the tank like a grenade. It's not placed like a mine, but it's very powerful. Next we have the PWM-1AT Lang, which was an anti-tank dart, which has a similar range, about 20.6 meters. These things are quite powerful. We'll be using them as well against some heavy tanks. Then we have obviously the M24AT bundle grenade. Now supposedly that has a 20 meter range. I don't believe it. It's normally a lot closer. And then last we have the satchel charge, which obviously we all know is very effective in its own right. So straight away we're going to start with the standard Russian stuff, and we're just going to take over this guy and show his various grenades. So we have the RP, there's obviously the 40 and the 43, the 40 being slightly lighter. Now you might think the effectiveness when using these anti-tank grenades, now as you can see here we have a Panzer II C, I believe. So let's just throw an RPG grenade at the front of it. And as you can see, that is pretty damn effective. We'll look at the damage on it. These Russian grenades are pretty powerful. As you can see, the hull is completely crippled, and there's some damage from it. It's actually pretty much blown to pieces, so that is completely wrecked. So it's very effective for an anti-tank grenade, and the Russian ones are very powerful. And also like to show, oh, it's cooking off. Also show the effectiveness of the RPG-40 grenade against the standard Panzer IV-H, which is quite a heavy medium tank, all things considered. As you can see, bang, has done a slight bit of damage, not as effective as against the Panzer I. Oh, if it allows me to, oops, sorry. As you can see there, oh, I want to choose him. He's took no damage to that grenade there. Now if we switch back, after switching back to the original section, switch back and we go to the RPG-43. Now if you get to a more vulnerable area, so let's just chuck one at the side there, for instance. As you can see, quite heavy damage indeed. Done a lot of damage actually, crippled the turret. Now we will take the max range of these is around, I believe it's quite hard, like as you can see, you are struggling at that range, which is about 14 or 15 meters. It says 20, but I would not try and throw at 20 meters if you are using these grenades. Try and get a bit closer and a bit more accurate. And obviously, where should you try and throw if you can? Always aim for the back where the engines will be in the weak top area. As you can see there, bang, and you'll cause an engine fire, which is very effective. Next, the Russian secret weapon, which we all hate if you're a German player or a Finnish player, the Molotov cocktail. Now you can chuck these fairly far, but you want to try and get good hits on it. So as you can see there, its actual range is about 15 meters. But you want to try, if you can, hit where these ports are on the tanks on the Molotovs. So just zoom in. So anywhere where there is a crew hatch or the engines. Now we are just going to chuck one at this tiger. Imagine a tiger rolls up and you launch a cheeky Molotov on him. Bang. Now as you can see, it's quite effective when it hits, but it won't always cause a fire. The best thing to do, in my opinion, if you can do it, is try and hit the engines at the back with a Molotov. Now as you can see there, it's hit quite nicely, and what it does, it drips through the engines and causes an engine fire normally, and it's quite effective. And we'll just see if this one actually burns through. Doesn't always work, but as you can see there, the engine completely crippled. And we'll just switch to this guy and see what damage is being caused. And as you can see, the engine is completely destroyed. Now the hull's gone as well. So that Molotov is basically took out a Tiger. So very, very light weapon can basically cripple one of the best German tanks in the game. And obviously AT grenades can be used to attack the tracks on tanks as well, but normally aiming for the engines is effective, and the Molotov, in my opinion, being the most powerful weapon, or one of the most powerful AT grenades available. So right there, the Russian players do have that really good useful grenades. They have less options than the Germans, but the Molotov, in my opinion, absolutely fantastic. If you do get to use them, definitely do. You can take out some really expensive equipment with basically a bottle of flammable material. So next we'll switch to what the Germans use. So first of all, we'll go for the bundle grenade. These are the lighter, your basic anti-tank grenade. What they are is basically 6 of the charges from standard M24 grenades stuck together. There's one handle in the middle, and it's actually 7 altogether, I believe. And it's 7 grenades, one basically makes a high explosive charge. Now, the effectiveness on the range is about 20 meters, but I tend to try and get closer. Now, these can be quite effective. Now, imagine a light thing like this BT7 first. If you get a bundle on the front of it, it can do a lot of damage still, as we'll check. Just switch this over. As you can see there, hull's completely crippled, which is fantastic. But it doesn't mean that you've completely beat it. As you can see, you can... Oh, he's on fire though, so that has completely demolished it. Now, against something like a T-34, let's say you just leave this lip here, and you chuck at the front, you can do some damage, so it blows, but not really anything. If you get to the sides, you will struggle as well, but like always, aim for the roof areas. So like there on the engine if you can. And as you can see, tends to blow open the hatches. Now if we switch to that and see, you'll cause some engine damage most likely with that. Is that working? No, let me just switch it to user. No, come on. As you can see, oops. No, oh, don't do that yet. I want to switch. As you can see, the engine is damaged. And if we're switching back, if you do ever blow over the engine hatch like that, the best thing to do is to try another bundle if you can, like that, and you will normally cause an engine fire if you get enough on it. We'll try the last one, and it hasn't caused the engine fire, unfortunately, but that T-34 will be in quite bad state, most likely crippled. As you can see here, the engine is completely damaged. So you can knock out a T-34, but they're more intended for light vehicles, but I have seen them knock out heavy tank engines as well, but I wouldn't rely on the bundle. Next, we will look at the Lang grenade, which is a very strange one. I haven't really used these much. I can't really remember who used them. Now, I remember them being pretty effective. Now, the effective range is about 20 odd meters as well. I suppose it can go further. Obviously, it can't there, but you can use it quite far. You can chuck a Lang grenade at the front there. Bang. Doesn't really do much, but it is an anti-tank dart, even though it's thrown like a grenade. Now, I have found them to be fairly effective against the engines, but I've not really used them that much personally, and as you can see, it can do quite a bit of damage. We're going to see if we can try and get the turret damaged with it as well. Oh, I think I've still got him on. Sorry, we have him on the wrong thing, so of course it won't be damaging him. We'll switch back, and now we'll try the anti-tank Lang grenade on the side. As you can see, oh, it did go right through, so it's a lot stronger than I remember. As you see, we're switching back. The Lang might actually be a heavy tank penetrator, because it is the same thing that basically a Panzerfaust round, but like thrown. It's very heavy. So we will try it on the KV, see if it does any damage. Wow. I didn't even realise that, so I'm learning stuff as well. So the Lang, I did know it did have some power, but I didn't realise it was as powerful as that. There's no way it takes out an IS as well. Let's try that. Wow. Okay. So it turns out the Lang anti-tank weapon is literally as powerful as a Panzerfaust. Right, we do need to just drop a few heavy tanks in here. Apologies, I'm going to have to, because I need some from the USSR just to try this on. We'll just quickly drop some ISs in. There we go. We'll switch them over to player 1, just to test out the rest of the weapons. But the anti-tank Lang there being the absolute winner. Didn't realise how powerful they were, but really, really powerful. Both of those turrets completely crippled. We'll switch over to them just to check the damage. But I am actually very impressed. I didn't realise they were that strong. Yep, hull and turret crippled on that. So very powerful weapon. I don't actually know who has the Lang in the game. I believe it was something used by the Luftwaffe infantry, so maybe them. Obviously satchel charge, if you've never used one of these, you can get them off every single vehicle. You might have seen me use them a few times in my videos. I will demonstrate. This is the anti-tank satchel charge, but it's not the standard one, but it's very powerful. Can do a lot of damage, but obviously it's common sense, a satchel charge. Normally if we're able to actually look into this tank, we'll get the actual satchel charge. The proper satchel charge. and that's normally far more effective at crippling tanks. Now these are thrown on like a grenade. As you can see, chuck it on there, run away, just a bit of thing. It may only be 3 kilo, but it's very powerful. Just going to detonate, bang, and as you see, on fire, just demolished. Satchel charge will take any tank out. And the range on the satchel charge I found to be about 10 meters effectively, because it's quite a big piece and it has to land on it, it can bounce off. And then we obviously have the telemine, which is thrown like a grenade, not used like real life. Now these things are very powerful. So if you chuck one at an enemy tank, it will normally do quite heavy damage. It does stick on though, as you see, but it's thrown like a grenade. And it does do considerable damage normally. Is he on the right thing? What's that? He is. So, oh no. Oh Christ. Oops. I've completely lost control there. But the telemines, normally I'll try and aim for the engines or something heavy on this. So if you get something like on the engine there, stuck on top of the roof, it detonates. There you go, heavy damage. Let's just try and get another one on. I'm a big fan of the telemine when you get them. As you can see, detonates, the engine's on fire. The Germans do have some very heavy anti-tank weapons that can, and basically every anti-tank grenade can cripple pretty much most vehicles. Even stuff like the light anti-tank can deal with lights and mediums to a point. But things like Molotovs, RPG-43s can do the engines on Tigers as well. Satchel Charge, Langs, and Telemines can basically cripple the heaviest tanks in the game. So just remember, don't just worry about Panzerfaust and Panzerschrecks. Do worry about these AT grenades, especially with troops lining trenches, troops that are hidden. I just wanted to actually show these off after I did a grenade walkthrough with them ages back. I just wanted to show the actual effectiveness of them, and as you can see from the burning wrecks, they're very effective. So definitely get those grenades used, guys. And I hope you found this video useful. I certainly have, because I didn't realise the Lang was that powerful. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a fantastic day.